to be talking about the main codes and conventions of a double page spread. Firstly, there's a main image, and in a documentary article there's always a main image acting as the main focus of the double page spread. The main image is usually either like the centre of the page, or it's usually like the main thing you see on the page apart from the text. That's the first thing the audience usually looks at. And for our double page spread, we're probably going to include the main image as someone eating food or food related kind of things, because our documentary was about food and also prices of food. Another convention of a magazine for a double page spread is the headline, which gives us, like, the reader information about what the article is going to be about. And the headline is important because it brings the article together, and it, it's apart from the main image and obviously the text, you usually go straight to the title or headline of the article to see what it's about and whether or not you'll be interested in it or not. And the typography for this is usually bold and like really big colours, so it attracts the audience. The third convention I'll be talking about is a drop cap, which is used in the article, and it's like the first letter in the article. It indicates to the reader where the article begins, and it's a good way to grab the reader's attention because it stands out from the rest of the page and the rest of the article too. For our double page spread, we will be using a drop cap when talking about our documentary, because it will make it look more professional. As well as the main image, stereotypically there's also other like images as well, because this helps the reader visually see what you're talking about and whether or not they'll be interested or not, because some people just look at the pictures and they'll be able to see what's happening. So we're probably going to include other additional images as well, which we've put down on our drawn drafts, and we're probably going to have them along the bottom to see what that looks like. The photos we'll be using will be footage from our documentary to present to the audience the type of content they'll be shown in our documentary. Additionally to the headline, there's also a subheading, and it's predominantly found positioned under the main title and above the main article. It's usually it's like main purpose is to like intrigue the reader even more. Apart from like the images that are included and the title, it gives you a little bit more information about what the article's about, which hopefully intrigues the reader to read the magazine. And we will be including this in our double page spread, and we'll include some information about the documentary that we're producing. Stereotypically, a byline is used in a double page spread article. This is used to show the reader what the article is, who wrote the article. So if they like what they read, they can search up the author of the article and read other articles that they've wrote. So we're probably going to include that in our double page spread because it would make it look more professional, which is what we're aiming for. Quotations are also used in double page spreads to give like a more personal feel to it. So we'll probably include that because we could incorporate quotes from our vox pops or quotes from our interviews with the professionals, which would make our magazine seem more interesting. And by like putting it in like a big font and like making it stand out with putting like a background to it, it'll look really like interesting and cool and aesthetically pleasing. Also, stereotypically a colour scheme is used, and that also depends like on the house style going throughout the magazine. And because we're going to be using Radio Times, because our documentary is a BBC documentary, it stereotypically has quite, not dull, but like quite simple plain colours, and the masthead of the magazine, which is called Radio Times, is usually white. So on our double page spread, we're going to have the masthead and the bottom two corners of the page next to the page numbers, which is also stereotypical codes and convention of a double page spread. So the colour scheme for our magazine will probably relate along to our documentary, but there'll probably be simple colours which stand out because it would link into the Radio Times magazine. Another code and convention is that for the article they have columns, so like they're separated. This is easy for the reader to read because it's more condensed information, so like it can get into their head easier, and it's also just, it looks aesthetically pleasing as well because it looks neat and tidy rather than having everything like messed up, especially like if you were just going to have them as big paragraphs, it probably looks quite boring and dull, and not many people would want to read that much information. All these codes and conventions I've been talking about have linked into the double page spread, which I've been showing throughout this video, which is from Radio Times. We're going to use some of these aspects they've put into their double page spread and hopefully use it into ours. For example, the page numbers, the date, the masthead, the main images, the image, and other codes and conventions. And I believe that we're going to follow the stereotypical view of a double page spread, because it will make our magazine look more professional and it would make more people want to read it as well.